All righty. Why did you not put me in there? Are you not gonna put me in? There
Why did you not put me in there?
Oh, wait. Turn the volume off or we'll have echoes from hell. No. Not doing that tonight. It's been a rough day as it is. Get that on there. Oh, man. It says 9 are watching now. 12 watching now. Hello, Yvonne, the first one in on the live chat. I know there's a lot of like Share Finds just ended her sale, and Martha at Vintage Conversation, I think her sale might still be going on. Melanie is probably finishing up on her sale, her brooch sale. So there was a lot going on tonight. I saw about 20 minutes of Patrick and realized I was falling asleep in my chair. So I went and took a nap. Therapy knew they had me for the last time for a week, and they beat the hell out of me this morning. Oh, man. So who is here? I see Julie and Trisha and Christy and Melanie. There's Mel. Mel, I hope your sale went well. You had some wonderful brooches tonight. I need to do a jewelry sale, though. A lot of what I have is necklaces. But I found like a big, like there must be 2 pounds of jewelry in this thing, and none of it's particularly vintage unless, you know, it's like the 80s or 90s. Just say hi. So everybody's coming in the door. Now I have no idea if I will pop on at any time just to say hello next week. And it definitely wouldn't be at 11 o'clock at night. If I do that, it would have to be during the day. But it's summer camp week next week. So I'll be up at Resica Falls Scout Reservation, which is up by the New York state line. I'm trying to think. Not too far over the state line is East Goshen, New York. But Jen is 4 hours away from Resica Falls. So we're hoping to get up there. The plan is to get up there on Tuesday and see Jen, but it is a 4-hour drive. So if we get out of camp by 8, then, you know, we'll be there by noon, but then have to leave again at like, you know, by 4. Because once it gets too late, they put a chain across the entrance to the Scout Reservation and you can't get in. That would be bad. I'm not sleeping in the car. So, hi, Christina. And Butterfly Nurse. So it should be fun. Oh, Julie, that you're still in Wyoming? That's a lot to do to pack up in a state. Trust me. Gotcha on that one. I know. I know. It's a lot. It's a lot. And a lot of surprises show up when you have to go through stuff with your parents. But a lot of memories come up too. Makes it difficult. I think that's why I kind of like, with what's mom's stuff, her stuff's been here the longest, but it's been 14 years. There's still a lot of stuff in my mom's here. And I think I used the other 2 inheritances as a diversion to not deal with her stuff. Because I was super close to my mom. We got to the point where we were not just a parent and child, but we were really close friends, which is a rare gift. So I'm trying to read the chat because the chat's showing up faster on YouTube than it is on StreamYard. Some days that's the other way around. Some days it's faster on StreamYard, not often. So you see me looking up, it's because I didn't bother to move the laptop tonight. I was still trying to drag my sorry tired butt out of bed at 10:30. And I get down here and the kid didn't move anything. He was supposed to move these 2 boxes back here. But at least he put the cans to the curb. He didn't take any of the trash out, but he put the cans to the curb. Oh. It's always more than you imagine when you are clearing out an estate. When you think about it, you just think of the big stuff and the furniture, but there's so much minutia to clearing out an estate. It's okay. Don't let it overwhelm you. It's okay. And I understand you cannot keep everything. One saving grace for my friend Nancy's estate was that all of the furniture, the only, what do you do when 2 only children marry each other and their only child unfortunately passed away through medical error at the birth, and there was a huge settlement of money. So, they had no children. So there was a cousin of her husband's who ended up with the estate, but there were also all these bequests. Anyway, a lot of different places got a lot of money. She spread it around. She didn't want to have me have a tax burden, so I got the books because she knew what I would do with them. But we got through a lot because all of the big furniture, there were a few pieces the cousin took, but the cousin had to come up from Virginia to deal with the house outside of Wilmington, Delaware. And all the furniture just went in one shot to an antiques dealer, to an auction house that dealt with it. So it made it easier once some of that was out of the way. Yeah, I've had a few things of fun stuff stolen. Christina, I'm okay. I'm just sore. They had me do several new therapy things. How he thinks I'm doing some of these at camp, I have no idea. What am I going to take a nice round log that's about that thick and lay down on the picnic table and put my feet on it and then roll the thing up to my butt using my feet and roll it back down? I don't think so. Mind you, the kids will laugh their heads off if I did that. But I don't think I'm doing that at camp. That's right. Blackie Jr., you're at work. You're still at work. No, you just started, Jody. We just started. I had to tilt the camera, is like my phone is tilted a little so I could get it over here. I have this great big one. Now, for all its size, this one is lighter than whatever this little one is, which I don't even think you guys, I don't have you, if I can tilt it down. I don't know what this is, but this sucker's heavy. It's heavier than this thing is. And this thing is, what, 5 times its size? So, oh, Tina, yeah, postcards take a long while. Postcards take a while. Usually when I come back from summer camp, I will do postcards that are little advancement reports for the Boy Scouts. I am always looking for postcards. Any ones that aren't vintage or that are, aren't worth anything for that value, I use them as my package stoppers, and I use them with my Scouts all the time. So I'm always on the lookout for postcards. And I will do an advancement report in August as soon as we come back, because usually we're there the last weekend of July to the first weekend of August. This time the dates got a little screwy because of how the weekends went, and we ended up the whole first week of August. But I will mail them to a lot of them right away. I will mail the cards. and it'll take, they're local. They're 2 towns over, for crying out loud. And it can take a week, sometimes a week and a half, for those kids to get that postcard. Because postcards aren't considered first class mail, I think. I don't know why. You know, surely they should run through the machine the same way. So, Belinda is here. I see somebody mentioned her. Hey, there's Debbie. I caught the tail end, but I got to see some of Sue's impressions on your knock knock. That was a riot. If you are not subscribed to our Vagabond Travels to Deb, you need to be. She has this great idea of knock knock, who's at the door, and she lets a bunch of us come in. I haven't done it yet, but I plan to after I get back from camp. And it was really great today. I caught the end of it, and you had some fun there today. Yeah, Tina, sometimes I think we could walk to each other's houses faster. Nancy did. Oh, the purse. Oh, no, you didn't miss the purse. Talk amongst yourselves. I promised I would try to remember the purses, and I forgot the purses. I'll be right back. You can play I Spy with the file. Let me go get them. All right, I'm back. I had pulled them out. They were sitting on the bookcase at the top of the steps, and I had forgotten to bring them back down. Oy, oy, oy. Huh. I need to win the lottery so I can put air conditioning in this old friggin' house. Central air. All right. First off, I'm going to sneeze. Give me a second. I need tissue. All right, what key was that in? Okay, so Whew. You're not scared of Peterson? I know what she does for a living. I'd be scared of Peterson. Oh, yes, you do see its hardest. That was sent to me, and it's a birdhouse. But I haven't put it up in the yard because I wasn't allowed to walk in my own backyard for a long while. I have permission now as long as somebody's there with me. So no more tree roots. Oh, actually, let me do something else here. That's not what I want. How come I keep putting our vagabond and I keep finding Katie? That's the wrong channel. Okay, wait a minute. Our vagabond. Oh, it's all one word. Our vagabond travels. Maybe that's why I can't. There we go. All right. So here is our Vagabond Travels channel. There's a link for you. So, I don't think so. I don't think there was a tornado near me because the warning was for up around Allentown, which is about an hour and a half away, and that's on the hour and a half away on the Blue Route, so on 476. So no, we didn't have it. Oh, you lost your sparkly. So I didn't have the tornado to me, but Mr. Buys a Lot channel, that was up around him, up around his warehouse, because they finished their sale half an hour early so that they could book on out of there. Mr. Buys a Lot is a channel that he goes around and he buys quantities of stuff. Like if a collector is, they're clearing out, or an estate is clearing out, or a reseller is finally retiring, he buys their entire lot of what they have, and then he sells in bulk to other resellers. And they're usually for what you're getting value for the money. He's who Mike got the first box of Shackman stuff from, and I got the second box from him, from Mr. Buys a Lot. But the tornado warning was all up around him, and he was really worried. They wanted to be home before that hit. So, I don't know if it was during the live sale I had mentioned that I had actually found purses that I thought they were all gone. Now, I'm going to have to look and see where the shiny went, but this was one of them. Now, remember, with having this kind of a gold glittery handle and a long one, this was probably made in the 90s. I thought these were all gone. So it should have had a rhinestone piece in there. So it fell out. So I will have to find that. But they were just always real simple because I didn't know how to sew that well. And then this one is it's just lined. There's no pocket inside, and it has 2 snaps to close it. But this is from the scraps from my mom. And you never knew what kind of fabric I was going to find, because this is like a lightweight upholstery fabric. You got a weird shadow here. No, that didn't do it. I don't know why I have a weird shadow, but I do. But isn't that a cool fabric? How can I get rid of that shadow? I don't know what that shadow is from. Oh, the shadow. Okay, the shadow is from the laptop. But isn't that a great fabric? So, but I didn't know I had any left, and I found that one. And I found this one. This one still has the $10 price tag on it. This one has a handle on the back for you to like grab it that way. My mom told me that some of the early clutch, there were purses when she was little that were like, well, little, when she was a teenager in the early 40s, that you could actually had a strap on the back so that you could put them on your wrist. But they weren't as big as this. But that's another fancy little button. And it's got 2 snaps. And it's just black lining material. And then there's interfacing in them. And I would, the teenagers at the Arden Fair would snap these suckers up, and I would make different designs based on the fabric that I found and the pattern that was on the fabric. But I didn't think there were any left, and then I found those 2. So once I get back from camp, I'll see about putting them up on Etsy. Because I found the handcrafted sewing stuff just does better on Etsy than it does on eBay. So you don't, what is this? Jody, you don't know what any of this is about, but you're here for it? I have a feeling I missed something in the chat that could be fun. So, oh. So, let's find out what's in this sucker. I had a heck of a time getting into there. Did you see that video? My brother and his bringing stuff home. We had both those doorways open to the other end of the living room and to the dining room on the other side. And we did end up putting the 2 ottomans back in the way of the dining room on the other side. And then Mike put some stuff there. But it's stuff that's leaving with us to go on the camping trip. So I didn't mind. But Gary brings stuff home. And then if he doesn't want it, he just sits it in the doorway. This is why he can't live alone, or it wouldn't be a hoarder's house. And it wouldn't be a clean hoarder's house either. It would not be. All right, let's see what's here, because this is tall. Okay, so that's where that went. So some stuff I recognize. I don't recognize this. Speaking of rhinestones, hey guys, who wants a tiara? Holy moes. It's a metal one too. This is the good kind. Look at that. Look at that. Those are all glued in rhinestones. Anybody need a tiara? Be queen for a day? Oh, wow, it's small. My head is bigger than that, and I have a little head. Okay, so why would you need a tiara? I have no idea where that came from, who it came from, how it ended up in there. There's no label. It comes in a little plastic box, but there's no label on it. Okay, so there's mystery number 1. We all need a tiara. Jose, have you seen my rhinestone video? My collection of rhinestones, which I did when I was still flat on my back? The end of that shows an incredible tiara that's, from how well made it is, has got to be from 40s or 50s and was probably made for the stage, considering it's got stars on it. But I made money on that. I haven't sold it. I'm not going to sell it. But I've rented it out a couple times for Fairy Queen. Oh, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, we're having a pajama party. We're having an all-night pajama party. And there will be jokes, there will be games, there will be ghost stories. If you're really nice to me, I will probably read you a story from Gilbert and Sullivan and sing you the songs. Because YouTube can't mess with me on those, because Gilbert and Sullivan is in the public domain. Ha! So no copyright on those songs. All right, what else is here? A bag. A bag. Okay. A bag with a ball with Velcro on it with a ribbon stuck to it. I think I could safely trash that. Well, this is pretty. Look at that. It just says Fine Arts, Fine China. I've never seen that mark before. Dang it, I can't get that shadow to disappear. Fine Arts, Fine China. But isn't that cool? I wonder if I can. If that'll help or if it'll wash me out too much. But it's dusty as can be, but that's pretty cool. I like that. And I like the white stuff with the holly on it. Oh, wait, let's not sit it on the keyboard. Put the keyboard back on its little shelf under there. No, there's no sale tonight. Tonight is an unboxing. There's another tote bag in there. Okay. So we'll put you in there just to keep you safe. Because I didn't want to do a sale because I'm leaving Sunday for Boy Scout camp. And I'll be gone for a week. And I'm already still trying to get things shipped out. And so I didn't want to add more to that when I'm leaving for a week. Because internet access at Resica is always iffy. The last time I was there, I had to go, we used to have to drive down to the road at the bottom of the mountain in order to have phone access. Well, this is interesting. So it's handmade. It's got little hooks up the back. Let me hook one of them so this will hang right when I show it to you. Look at this darling little dress. Look at this. Nice for summer. I don't know that fabric. It's like a satin. Actually, it's more like a taffeta, but not as stiff as modern taffeta. Wow. And it's got a belt for a big bow in the back. I don't think that's the heck did I just lose? Oh, the cord for the the cord for the Rolo printer just hit the floor. So I don't think that's mine. I don't think so. I never saw any pictures of me in anything like that. All right, so that's going to have to go into the vintage clothing stash. So it's not silk. It doesn't have quite the right feel for silk. But it also doesn't have the right weave. But back in the 50s, when they first started bringing taffeta out, they had a thinner one. This is another one. This is what's pinned to it? Oh, there's a belt. Oh, wow. Okay. Is there a label? The label is Gale Between. See, it has the label. This is a dress. Got little sleeves that come out, a little tiny ruffle on the end. That's a tiny waist. That's a really tiny waist. Isn't that neat fabric? That shadow is just annoying the crap out of me. I like that fabric. Hey, cool. It's a cool pattern. It feels like rayon. And the buttons. The buttons are shank button. It's silver. It's got a little rhinestone in the center. That is really cool. Yeah, come across vintage clothing, some of it is from Mom keeping everything. Sometimes I find stuff that Mom was given to copy. I know we have a Philadelphia Mummers outfit tucked away that is supposed to be a musketeer. I don't think the musketeer wore that many sequins, unless he was a special musketeer. It's a musketeer designed by Liberace is what that outfit looks like. But she copied it, and she made 12 of them, but they let her keep the original one. So, I thought I saw, yes, I did, Share Finds. I wanted to put her link in too before I forget, now that I see she's here. Share Finds has cool stuff, and she's just starting out though. So she's doing live sales, but she's not even up to 100 subscribers yet. So here is, whoops, come on, do it right. Here is her channel, and you can sub to her. But she and Debbie both have great channels, and they're fun. And they both find cool stuff. One, because you're traveling all over the place. I'm so jealous of that. You know that, right? I'm up to 858 subs. We got to get me to 1,000, and then we'll have that slumber party. And that's Angela and Katie's fault, because I went to a live they had, and we were joking around, and I said, I need ideas. I didn't know what to do for 1,000 subs. And we were joking around about something for a pajama party, and then it just clicked that, you know what, that would be cool to do. Okay. I'm beginning to see stuff I've been looking for a year. And this is one of them. This should have been on my eBay store. Or not my eBay, my Etsy shop, but I couldn't find it. United States Navy pillow. And the back has the same Navy seal on it. Ah! And I love that Mom did this one. I could tell, because it's a hidden zipper. I could tell. My mother did that one. She liked using invisible zippers and like kind of hiding them on these pillows. So that's cool. I was wondering where this sucker had gone. Oh, I know. I'll get to that 1K soon enough. All right, so there's that one. And then this one doesn't have the pillow with it. It's the Air Force. And she must not have had the matching fabric, so she just did it in a blue that pretty closely matches the front. Yeah, the tie-dye bear is in here. He must be the last one. So I used to, in the 90s, I used to work for Joann Fabrics. And let me tell you, in the late 90s, early 2000s, this is the last tie-dye bear. He is soft, he is squishy, he is entirely huggable, and he can be thrown in the washing machine. We bought, you know, the material was on clearance, and we thought, you know, it might be funny to make tie-dye Grateful Dead bears. So we made some. We sold them the next weekend at the craft fair. We had made 5, and we sold out in the first hour. So, so then we got every bit of tie-dye fabric that we could get from every Joann Fabrics. We had them like telling them it was a special order and having them ship it to my store. And my mother and I bought it all. And he's the only one that's left. And if you sit him just right, he does kind of balance. with his head a little forward. If you get him just right, you can sit him down. His head needs a little more stuffing because his nose is all squished in. But he's like the last one. We were cutting these out by literally just because they were so popular. I remember cutting them out and just cutting out like a ton of legs and then a ton of, and she had figured out exactly how much you could get. And if you position the pattern pieces a certain way, it only took you half a yard of fabric because the fabric was wide. It wasn't your usual, what's the usual now? It's been so long, 45 wide. It was one of these long bolts. It was more like, I think, 60-inch wide fabric. And so it only took half a yard for each bear. And we must have made, I wouldn't be surprised if we made 50 of them, at least. And then when we had them at the Arden Fair, we took 30 of them to the Arden Fair, and they were gone by noon. They just went like hotcakes. And that's probably the last one. I still have the picture in my Etsy store, not active, but it's there. So it looks like this whole box, except for these two. I don't know what these are. It looks like everything else in that box is all craft show stuff, which should go on onto my Etsy. So I guess I know what I'll be doing when I come back from camp. Oh, so yeah, book. Some do shop with me, but I've been laid up the last couple of months, and the only place around me to shop there was down the hill, which I thought was awesome, great honey hole, and the owner has decided that he's not making enough money on smalls, so he got rid of them all. He got rid of all the small stuff. He's where I found that great Pyrex bowl, where I found the crystal bowl. He's where I found some of the other stuff that has done real well. And I went down there just to stop in and let him know why I hadn't been back down there. And it was that whole corner. Everything's gone, and it's all mattresses now. Who want to buy a used mattress? Just saying. Who's going to do that? Because I don't know anybody's going to do that. But that's what he's got down there now. I was heartbroken because that was such a great find. But I did ask, and one of his workers told me what he's doing with all the smalls now. And he's taking them up to Norwood, PA, to an auction house and just selling them in bulk lots. Lucky soaks. So now I know where they're going. I remember seeing these on vacations. Well, you would go somewhere and you'd be able to buy these. This is really nice one. I like this one. And it's in good shape. I don't see anything wrong other than you can still see where a little sticker had been on the back. So, yeah, I mean, I did one video down there, and that was a really cool place because the southern part of Delaware County is really, it's hard to thrift here and do shop with me videos here because they closed the Goodwill. And so I'm left with the one that is, they tend to make it really priced high, or stuff on the shelf is broken, and the music is always blaring. So that's a problem. Now, I know what this is from. How many of you as kids had a bead loom where you could make little strands like this? You could make hat bands. Now this one looks like it's got a little damage, like it's missing a row of the beads right there. But I don't see any loose ones in the Ziploc bag. Somewhere in this house should be a beading loom from my mother and one from her aunt. So I should have two of the old wooden beading looms around. Well, here's another one of those souvenir ones, except this one's in yellow and black. I don't see any breaks in the threads, no missing beads. So I've been, I've been on the lookout and trying to find some other little thrift shops, but there just aren't many around. And it's frustrating. I did one early on at the only antique mall near me, and it's not like the antique mall like was out in further west around where Jocelyn is, Crazy Lamp Lady, because at those you have vendor booths, but the one nearest to me, they are all high-end antique dealers, and you're not finding anything really you can do much with. I saw something about, was the first lavender, the bead one, necklace, that was blue and white. This poor thing, the thread is dry rotting. I know exactly what's happening to it. And the leather don't look so good either. I'm going to be real careful because I want to see what name it had. Oh, cool. It says Henry, which means this was my father's. But you can see the damage right there. Now, my father was born in 1927. I just lost a few beads. So, and this is a small belt. This is a kid's belt. This is not very big at all. So this had to have been done. He was born in 27, so I'd bet this was done sometime in the 30s. And a lot of times the cotton thread doesn't last, and they start to fall apart. There's a bunch of loose beads in there, and two more fell off when I pulled it out. There's one of them. Oh man, are they tiny, tiny seed beads. I never understood how they sometimes could get the thread through some of these, because some of the really old seed beads are so tiny that you gotta wonder, how did they ever get a needle through there? And I've done beading, and yeah, there are beading needles that are basically just a wire, but you still got to be able to get a thread through. Oh, there's the other. There, come back here, you. Better get them while I see them now. Where'd that blue one just go? You ran away. Oh, no, you didn't. You're stuck under my fingernail. Come out. That's how tiny they are. All right, we're going to pop you in because I'll know that that's the only thing that's really disintegrating. That's cool that was Dad's. But that definitely had to be from the 30s. We don't know very much about my dad's family. But in the 30s, he would have been... They didn't move down here until they were almost into their teens. So he would have been up around Wilkes-Barre, PA. That's coal mining area up there. Y'all are going to love this. Okay, is this your Sunday go to meeting hat? Which way would the feathers go? Oh, I think that would go in the back. So I think this goes this way, because you got to have your little feathers in the right place. How do I look? Do I look good? That is all feathers. I don't know what birds have some of these colors, but Doug, that's your neck of the woods? Then you know Knoebels. I haven't been to Knoebels in ages. But yeah, my dad's family, his sister was around Elysburg, and my uncle and my cousins are also up there. Look at all the colors on this thing. I mean, they had to have dyed some of those feathers, but they're all pretty long. I don't see a label hiding anywhere. And hat labels can be really small. But that's an interesting find. I know I have a whole box somewhere that's just vintage, you know, vintage 1940s and 50s hats. Yep, Knoebels Grove. Knoebels is fun. All right. Let's just grab a handful and see what we got. Well, you're all stuck together, so let's see what this is. Okay. Let's move the little basket out of the way. And we have now I did not make these. Machine embroidered hand towels. You've got that one. That's all in silver thread. We've got that one. Oh, these. I have one of these for sale in my Etsy store. They're tote bags, but the tapestry's all golfers. And it's a tote bag with a cotton lining and a zippered pocket. I have one of these on my Etsy page. Have not been able to sell it. And here I got two more. Apparently people that golf don't want tote bags. Hi, Teresa B. Yeah, I think that hat might be worth something. But like I said, I got a bunch of hats. I have a bunch of hats. Oh, look. Another golfer tote bag. Lord, she must have had a big piece of fabric. Well, hello there. What? I know what you are. All right, who was it that likes strawberries? Another cotton hand towel, except this is a pair. Got the second one in here too. Cool. So it looks like something got on this one a little bit. I think I will run these guys through the wash before I go putting them up online. I could try selling them at the live sale. And I was thinking of doing that, of having one where it's just, you know, part of it would be some of the craft stuff. These are craft supplies. These are full color transfers. Remember that in the 90s? This still wasn't an 80s thing, I don't think. I think it was more the whole box of my allergies are getting to me. I think it was more the 90s where it was to put something on sweatshirts. Dust allergies. Jeez. Diana Rigg wore many of those beautiful hats in the Mrs. Bradley series. I will watch anything Diana Rigg does. She's fantastic. I loved her as Olenna Tyrell in Game of Thrones. She got some of the best lines written for her. And thank you for the bless yous. But these are full color transfers, easy iron on, and you have the nice wreath. And they used to tell you, you know, iron them on a sweatshirt, and then you could put like fabric paint on it to accent it or other things. I like the kitty. Isn't it cute? These things were all over the place then. And then there's another one. Honestly, I could probably do another Christmas sale, but I don't have that much Christmas stuff that I can get to. 1992. There we go. Found the year. Darn. Now this, so I knew what this was as soon as I saw the basket. If you are going to have stuff for sale, you got to have stuff for the itty bitty kids. Okay, let's see. Christmas embroidered towels were $8. Pillowcases without pillow were 12. This is like, you know, early 2000s bracelets. And I had bracelets for 50 cents for kids. I used to have a little stand for them. I got a bunch of bracelets. And they're all made with those bigger, thicker beads. And then some are made with those interlocking Y beads. But I had some, I think these are it. Do I have any others? You might be. I had some that the beads glowed in the dark. And this is the only one I have left of this one because it didn't make the knot was too big to go through. You see what it did? So it makes a point. But I found all these skeleton beads, these little skulls. I sold the crap out of those skull beads. But you got to have something. Some of these are small. I mean, I made them little, like that just goes over 3 fingers. Because you got to have something. But yes, that is my house. That picture is thanks to the family who the family of the woman the house was built for. See, I even did them in like Easter colors and then Halloween colors. But the thumbnail is a picture from before the 1935 edition. I don't believe the picture is from, you bugger, there's another seed bead. I don't believe the picture is from 1911 when the house was built. I think the picture is more from the 1920s. And so that one, there's one picture that is in the winter, and then there's another picture I used as a thumbnail recently that's the side of the house, and it had to be from the summer because it has the awnings down on the side porch, which doesn't look like that anymore. Unfortunately, it's one of the things my father did to the house. And I always laugh because in that summertime picture, there's banana trees growing in the side yard over there. We get snow. How do you have banana trees? And the family of the woman it was built for told me that, oh yeah, those were her pride and joy. She used to bring them and have the gardener just sink the pots in the ground outside. And then when it got cold, they would just chop them back and she'd bring them inside. And she had them in the house here somewhere all through the winter. And knowing how drafty this 1911 part of this house was, how she kept them alive, I have no idea. I would have thought it would have gotten too cold. So, all right. We're almost emptying the big one here. We have some of my decoupage stuff in here. And I actually had done these. This is probably all that's left of my decoupage stuff. Which is which? That's the ballerina. This is the bulletin board, and this is the frame. So I had these German scraps, which, you know, we all go nuts when we find the good vintage ones. But this was a frame, and this was already on it, and the plaid was on it. And then I added the cute little flower girl in the corner. But wait, there's more. That has a matching bulletin board. And I have, wrong corner. I have another little flower girl there. And I have one there. So, and I never managed to sell the set. I live in the southeastern corner of Pennsylvania. There's no way banana trees should be living here unless you're taking them in the winter. But isn't that pretty cool? But I had a chance to get, I used to have a pen pal in Germany, and she would send me some of these scrap pieces. And because they still print a lot of them over there, and she would send them to me and I use them to make stuff. That is a cool set. I didn't know that was still around. I knew I hadn't sold it. I just didn't know where it went. Okay, so there's this. There's that one. Hey, stop falling over. Gotta get this stuff back in there. Because if I move the box now, everything will fall over. We don't want that to happen. All right, pillows, tie-dye bear. Where's that plate? We're going to put that plate back in here carefully too with the dresses. And I will deal with a lot of this when I come back, but there's a couple more things in a bag here. Now, Joanne Fabrics had sold these frames, and then I had a piece of fabric that had the animals. So this is actually a piece of fabric decoupaged on there. So I have the tiger, and I have the zebra. And the only thing that irks me about these is that, and you can see it on the zebra, is that there's kind of a yellowish tinge to everything, and it's from the sealant. Over time, the sealant has turned colors on me. They've turned a little yellow. Though if you ever get up close to a zebra, they're not pure white anyway. They are kind of a creamy color. And there's one other one left. I sold a ton of these. The birdhouse ones. Because, you know, birdhouse, little birdhouse picture frames, birdhouse decor was super popular the end of the 90s into the early 2000s. And I sold these like crazy. You know, I did all the crackle finish because that was a big thing too. So you could really see it on the side. Getting all that crackle finish on there. So I didn't think I had any of these left. I kind of thought I had the little girl, the flower girl ones, but I didn't know where. But I didn't know I had these too. So some of these may pop up in a live sale. and if they don't go in the live sale, then I'll put them up on Etsy. Okay. We're going to tuck them there. Oh, we got to put the basket back in. Now, let's get a little tiara and the hat. Now, don't squish the hat. We're not allowed to squish the hat. Now comes the real fun. Where do I put this sucker? All right, we're gonna carefully put that there. Very carefully put that there. Ow, ow, ow. I need to get this upstairs. I'm keeping this. This is a piece of pottery that has a tobacco leaf. So that's what it's called. And when you, get my notes out so I can tell you what it is. So when you find it, the bottom doesn't look like anything. But there's, where are they? 3 numbers right there. And I looked at it and the type of glaze and the rim, and I thought, well, that's somebody. That's somebody early for pottery, probably arts and crafts period. And then I found out what it was. So it is a green matte leaf vase, often called tobacco leaf, by Zanesville from Ohio. Now they were in existence from 1889 to 2002. But This one has number 102 on the bottom, which means it's circa 1920. And they did it in this color from 1915 to 1920. And they still, it was one of their popular ones, so they still made it later, but the glazes changed. And I like that early pottery stuff. So that one, my notes on it live in there. That one's mine. And that was one of my early finds too, for from down the street. That's why I was so upset that they're like, you got rid of all the smalls. Oh. Now my nose is running. So let's see. I haven't been able to keep an eye on the chat. A little harder when it's up there. Maury jewelry for you too. Hello. Welcome. J-Girl, Malvern. Yeah, you aren't that far away. I know where Malvern is. I need to head up that way and see if there's thrift stores up around Malvern. Now for the fun one, because this sucker is a heavy. It's heavier than the big one. Now, the outside says Clark's Anastasia boot, black shiny red rub-off Torlon. I don't know what that means. Okay, that's not helpful. I open it up. You know what I see? Bags. I see bags. What are the bags? Let's get this up higher. Let's see if you guys can see it now. Ah. Yeah, I'm wincing a little bit. Therapy worked me hard today. They had me doing stuff I hadn't done before. And so different muscles are going, what are you doing? We don't like this. Gold bar? I don't know. So we have a bag that says Gafers. I have never heard of that. That's had to be a department store somewhere. I've never heard of them. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We have fabric. Fabric alert. Fabric alert. In a house that's filled with fabric. I don't think this is my mother's. I've never seen this. The receipt's still here. So, look how old the logo on this zipper is for JP Coats. Notice it says JP Coats and not Coats and Clark. So when did they merge? Oh, wait, it says Coats and Clark on the back. Darn. I thought it was earlier. So, neck opening polyester coil zipper. So they came out with coil zippers in the 60s. Where did you come from? Go away. Little buggy. We have, it's summertime. Sometimes you get fruit flies. I don't know how they came in, but they're in the kitchen driving me nuts. One of them was out here. Gafers Edgewater Plaza, August 1972. Okay. So somebody was planning on something. This is weird fabric. It's not flat fabric, and it's made to not be flat. Can you see all the ripples to that? Good night, Christina. So, I mean, have you ever wet a paper towel and then let it dry out and it gets all wonky? That's what this fabric is. It's got to be a polyester. But it's actually made like the fabric's kind of embossed. Talk about groovy. Does that not scream 70s? That screams 70s to me. But all the flowers are kind of like embossed on the fabric. I was teasing Jen, half teasing, saying, you know, when I can get to the dining room, we need to have a fabric sale. If this whole thing is fabric, I kind of might be doing a fabric sale sooner than we thought. It doesn't say how much is there, so I'll have to measure it, but it cost at the time, it cost $7.48. Or at least that's what the receipt has. I don't know if this is the receipt is from this stuff, but that's definitely one of those groovy kind of 1970s things. I've never seen fabric that was embossed like that, where it's just raised up when it's not quilted. It's not quilted. It's just, I don't know if they just pressed it that way to over a mold or something. What's this one? Lewis's, all the shops you ever wanted. Okay. Patterns. So the pattern actually says in the UK, 35 pence. There's a cape for you. McCall's Patterns, Oxford Street, London. Copyright 1971. Now I know they weren't my mother's. My mother was not in England, ever. 1973. Little girl's pattern. They're never used. They're not cut out. They're brand new. New old stock. Yeah. Another style one. Girl size 8. Matching pants and a little jacket. Yeah, it's perfect in there. Never been cut out. That's wild. You know what drives me nuts is sometimes, and my grandmother did the same thing, you would find patterns not in the envelope. So I don't know what, I have sometimes found pattern pieces and I have no idea what they go to. Drives me crazy. What size is the cape? The cape says medium 12-14 and then says 34-36 underneath it. And it says it's a Mrs. cape. Not MRS, but MISS. So it says small 8-10, mediums 12-14, large is 16-18, and this is supposed to be the 12-14. So if you're interested in the pattern, shoot me an email, and then I will send you what the measurements say so that you could figure it out based on the measurements, because the sizes have changed over time. So when you have to be mindful of that when you get vintage patterns, and go by the measurements, because you can't necessarily go by the size that it says, simply because of that what was a size 12 then might be something different, usually is something different now. So anybody need, now they call them flares now, but back in the day, these were bell-bottom pants. We all know, we of a certain age know that those are not flares. They are bell-bottom pants, right? Some of us remember, I found upstairs when we were working on the master bedroom, and I think we packed it up and sent it to Paul's for Philly flippers for temporary storage. We found a child's pair of pants. It is bell-bottom pants. They look like they're for a kid who's maybe 8 years old. And they have studs all the way down the seam on both pant legs. And I had to laugh because judging by the size of them and that they're cut for a boy, they had to have been Michael's father's. He couldn't believe his dad would ever wear something like that. I couldn't believe it and went, I want to find a photo of him wearing them. Oh. Deanna, do you just collect patterns? Retro, honey, they are back. Flares are back. I am being rest assured from the millennials that I know that flares are back. More fabric. Oh, I see a strange looking. Is it a leopard? No leopard is that color. Oh wow. Okay, I'm like an idiot. You'd think I know. This is not the color. This is the backside. Got to open it up. Where's its opening? Okay, come on, come on, come on, come on. I want to see this because if it's just, oh, wow. Talk about bold colors. Look at that. Look at the birds. Hey, look, no jaguar is blue. No, or leopard. That's a leopard. I know it's upside down. No leopard's blue. Holy Moses. Holy acid trip with an animal coloring book. Jeez. Isn't that wild? Now it's a little stiff, like a taffeta or a rayon. Well, now rayons are usually they're not usually stiff. Okay, there's none on that selvage edge. I'm looking for a maker name anywhere. Who made this? Okay, so it's a Hoffman fabric. Yeah, Hoffman was one of the big fabric names. Oh, okay, so it's Jade Classics, Hoffman, California. That's what's on the selvage edge of who made it. So I know there are some people that look for specific designers and makers for vintage fabric. College debt circus, you love how I am? Slightly crazy? Yeah, well, when you grow up with 4 brothers and a Boy Scout troop with 30 pseudo brothers, your only sister is 14 years older than you are. So by the time you grow up to remember her, she left for college. There's a lot here. All right, I have to stand up to do this. Oh, come on, meds, kick in. All right, so a yard is, okay, so a yard is about there. For 6 years, I measured fabric. There's 2.5 yards of this. 2.5 yards, and it's probably 45 inches wide. When they hired me at Joann Fabrics, they were like really surprised because they said, well, we'll have to teach you how to measure fabric. And I went, okay. I walked right up to the fabric counter, grabbed a bolt, flipped it over, and just started measuring off yardage. And they're like, how? Okay. So you know how to measure it. Well, here's the cutting guide. We're going to teach you how to cut it. And I went, uh-huh. I said, let me show you something. And she said, what? I said, you want me to cut off half a yard of this? So I lined it up. I measured half a yard. I didn't use the cutting guide. I just went straight on up. I've been cutting fabric for my mother since I was 9. And you had better know how to cut it straight. Wow, that is some wild fabric, that one. Hey, they had plans. There's another zipper. So what can you make with 1.5 yards? A skirt? A dress? Well, if you're skinny enough, yeah, you might be able to get a whole dress out of that. But that's a one-way print. And I know with one-way prints, you have to leave extra so that you can match things up. I don't know what house this came from. I haven't figured it out yet. Okay, this is why this is so heavy. Good gravy boat. What is this? This is like really well wrapped up too. I smell mothballs. I'll bet you it's wool. There's a zipper. Okay. Honestly think this plastic is from a oh, I know that feel. I know that feel as soon as I touch it. That is silk. Oh baby, that is silk. So there is, it sure feels like silk. Siban? Who is Siban? Do you feel like silk? You're too stiff though. Are you fake silk? You got the right feel though. I don't know. It sure feels like it. So there's that. There's tissue paper lining in between things here. And a zipper. Another old zipper. This is a heavy weight. Wait, what? There's more. Okay, so there's two sections of what I think might be. If that's fake silk, that's high-end fake silk. And this is linen. This is real linen. That's why all the weight. I hear something crinkling. Oh. Hem facing. They don't even use this anymore. They don't even put this in clothing anymore. But it sure helps. It's so much easier to keep things from fraying to have hem facing on it. Oh, wow. I think, well, this has all the lines running through it. This is either raw silk or it's a linen. But it's really nice. Wow. I think somebody was going to make a suit, most likely. There's something else still in there. There's another little package, which is probably more. See, look at the size of this thing with the zipper. That's awful big for a blanket. Yeah, there's another thing of the hem facing in there. Wowza. It's got a faint, I mean, you can smell it when you're right up to it. There's a faint smell of like old moss flakes to it, which is fine because it would have kept the little buggers out of it. Wow, that's cool. And then there's two. There's two pieces of this. Which, if it's a suit, that could have been the lining. Because that's one thing is like linen, and one of the reasons I think it's linen is that you can see pretty well through it with the bright light behind it. And I don't know how much you could see through raw silk. I have a few pieces of raw silk from Japan, but I don't see that I have not seen raw silk very often. That explains the weight in this box. All right, let's get you up there. So now we're getting down to small stuff. We got what? We got one. Oh, excuse me. Two. 60 psychedelic going on. I'm telling you. Let's see what all this paper stuff is before we get to the last two fabrics. Oh, come on. cooperate. They don't want to cooperate. Because there's a bunch of little packets of seam binding. Oh, there's a buckle or a bell. There's 1, 2. There's 3 tiny little black tassels. So that's what's in there. I'm wondering if this had to be from Nancy, the one that I got the book collection from, that I inherited that, because they did travel a lot, and where's the cover for this? So the cover's coming off, but this is Coates and Clark's book number 133. Children's Knits, and it has all of the, it's got things for socks, a dog sweater, a raglan jacket. So, oh yeah, patterns are easy to ship. So easy to ship. I think this. I think that was the one for in there. I can't remember if there's one in there or not, but it's the same color, so we're going to stick it in there. Well, here's another one. I want that toy. Isn't that wild? Look at the dress. Look at the dress on the little girl. Wow. I don't know. I think I even back then, I think I'd tell my mom, no, I don't want to wear that. I think I would even say, Mommy, no, don't put me in that. Brother and sister can have a matching set. Oh my. Okay, this has notes, so somebody made that one because there's notes on the other page. I have to admit, I'm liking the animals, except maybe not that one. Look at what's in the background of this poor kid. No, wait, this way. Look at that monkey. Look at the face. Whoops. How can I, come on. I am so uncoordinated tonight, it's not even funny. Look at the face. Since when does the monkey have a burglar mask on, like out of a cheap 1960s cartoon? That, if I woke up in the middle of the night and saw that sitting in my room, I think I would scream, no. No, get that creepy monkey out of here. Oh my. Yes, I wasn't talking about you, princess. I hear you. What? You want to make an appearance, don't you? I'll bet you do. Kitty. Crocheted headband. Yeah, that's something I was surprised I didn't see more of. But I don't think anybody knows how to crochet anymore enough to do it. Would be to crochet masks. If you did it like the thread crochet, would it be small enough? Okay, so that little girl on the back cover, that one. Are you coming up or what? Are you going to come say hello? Get off of my Rollo printer. Crochet smock and cap with braid octopus. I'm not kidding. That's what it says. And then that's the picture. Where's the octopus? Oh, hello. Say hello, doctor. She's going to get up close and personal tonight. Where are you going? Hey, there's nothing back there. We've been crashed. Being photobombed by a cat. What do you want? Okay, I think I see what the octopus is. Stop pushing it. She's holding what I guess it was supposed to look like a toy or something. Yes, this is the doctor. They're all saying hello to you. Come here. Yeah. You gonna say hello? No, excuse me, Your Highness. What? Are you? She's going over to investigate. And you got to sniff the box and see what's going on. Is that it? Okay. Something has made her very jumpy, and she won't go outside anymore. It's been like that for over a month now. You hold the front door open, hold the back door. She'll look. And then, nope, not going out there. I don't know why. I'm okay with that, though. I live on a kind of busy street where people don't always pay attention to the stop signs. So I'm kind of okay with her staying in. Yeah, she was all black as a kitten, and then that little bit here, and then there's sometimes you can see it. There's a tiny, tiny little dot of white fur on one shoulder. Look at this green one. I don't want to look like I'm wearing mom's tablecloth either. Hey, this was given out by Woolworth. Are they still around anywhere? Ah, now I know where it came from. And Gaffer's was in Mobile, Alabama. And this came from Aunt June. Because there's a transaction slip for the credit card with the name on it. Well, now we can solve that mystery. Now I know what estate this came from. I didn't know Singer sewing machines had their own bag. What's in it? Probably more findings. You're going to join us tonight. Is that it? Oh, I remember these things. Is that what they're for? It's an ad for stitch rippers. You could even get ones to take with you that had the little cap on the top. I've never used those because I was taught how to use a razor blade. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. We know you're here. What did we figure out for you? Because it popped up on my Facebook. You are 8 years old now. You were rescued out of the shed next door. You and your two brothers, and the brothers got fostered out and then adopted as a bonded pair. But she was a coward. She was the runt of the litter. She was terrified of everything. So her, and she was black cat, so her I kept. I never caught the fourth one, and the fourth one is Rory, and that's the one that's coming around now that we're trying to get to trust us. Rory got a little upset with me and scratched me, so he could have done real harm, but Rory just put a little mark there and a little mark there with his claws. So that's a good sign that he didn't try to bite me and he didn't try to shred me. So we're getting there. But Rory cannot, he wants to come in the house, but he cannot come in the house till he has been to a vet, till he's been evaluated. And then he has to be to the point where he really trusts me. And your ear is right in front of my face. You know that, right? She's never done this. She's never just sat here. But we're hoping that we can get Rory to trust me and then be able to get him to a vet. That's gonna take getting some funds put aside, but he'll need all his shots and checked out before he can become a house cat for here with us. Now they have seen each other. They've been within 4 feet of each other, and they'll lay down opposite each other, and they're fine. But she doesn't really want him too close, assuming it's a boy. I'm not sure. Because I thought it was a boy, and then he rolled over the other day because he was so happy, and he was rolling all over the porch, and I didn't see anything. and I think I saw the little nipples. So I think it might be a girl. So, but it is definitely Rory because it knew the whistle that I did when they were kittens. Hey, does anybody, now it tells you the instructions. This is supposed to be a Pekingese. I love Pekingese dogs. I grew up with one. I owned one. I would love to own another. Somebody make me that. I can't get over the eyeballs or the lack thereof on one side. They have a bunny too. What are you doing? They have a bunny. You're getting like Binks. Are you gonna be like Binks and just photobomb sales from now on? They have a penguin. Look at, they've got a penguin. I love it. I don't know how to do any of it. I don't. I was never taught how to crochet. They have an owl, and the owl's on the cover. The owl is pretty cool. The owl's on the cover. So many people, it's become a what in God's name? God didn't make that. That's supposed to be hoot. What is it? Hooty hoot. That's supposed to be an owl? That looks like something from Sigmund the Sea Monster. What is that? That looks like something from the Sid and Marty Krofft Saturday morning freak cartoons. Like Sigmund the Sea Monster, Land of the Lost. I remember those. Oh my. They're just a bit, that one's a bit much. That one's a bit much. Oh, look, cat toy. Look at the tassels on there. You own a cat, you don't want anything with tassels hanging off your bed or off your table. Is that supposed to be? These are all made with Aunt Lydia's heavy rug yarn. That's not always, they still make it, it's just not easy to find. But you can usually find that online. Now, is that, oh yeah, it's a throw for on your bed. She'd tear that up. Okay, I want to, after seeing this picture, I want a date now. I want a date of when this is from. Printed in the USA. Number 229. Where do you see the top on this girl? There's some serious, that's a lot of bare skin showing. You see that outfit? Now the skirt's pretty cool, but the outfit looks kind of off cockeyed. If she moves the wrong way, I think you're going to be seeing something. I don't know about that top. Oh. Good night, Beth Grand Things. Yeah, I left my email up on the screen because if anybody's really wanted to see something, then maybe they could you could email me about it. That's a whole set for in your bathroom. And I cracked up because it includes the little thing to hide the roll of toilet paper. People will, like, sometimes people would give my mom one of those. They crocheted something and they thought it would be a cute little gift for my mother. And my mom would just turn around quietly and re-gift them to somebody else because with 6 kids in the house and 2 adults, there was no, you went through a lot of toilet paper quickly. There's a neat outfit. That actually would, without the pom-poms. Okay, get rid of the pom-poms. That would make a cool beach cover-up. That would make a neat beach cover-up. You could probably sell that, make that and sell that on Etsy online as a beach cover-up. if you knew how. By the time I came along, that most of the older relatives, their hands were getting too stiff and they weren't crocheting anymore. Here's a vintage Vogue pattern. Do we know date? No date on that one, but it all seems to be those. We got eyelet spray, cape, and hood. So you have the pattern for that. And couturier? I flunked French, I don't know. Cape and sheath. That looks more like the kind for Nanny and the Professor. And that fancy hat there. So we got that. And then the last two things from out of the box are fabrics. Always got to have the matching zipper ready. Look at all this groovy splendor here. Woo! Whoa, mama, talk about 1960s paisley. 60s, early 70s. Whoa. So not my colors. Wow. Whoa. How much there is. So there's like 3 yards of this. Holy paisley, Batman. Wow. You know, it's funny, is like some of my mom's dresses, the knit dresses she had from the 70s, I sold them when she died to a young lady who was only like, how old was Leslie? Leslie then? She was, I think, 18, and she loved that, you know, 1960s house dress kind of style. So she bought a bunch of my mom's old dresses off me, and she took them in the way her mom helped her, and they took them in at the waist a little bit, and she loved them. She's now at PAFA, which is Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts. She should be graduating this year, I think, or next year. And she still wears them. She loves them. She loves that vintage look. Now this has some little fronds here, which I am going to cut off, because if you get too long little pieces, then you're more likely to get them caught on something and fray the crap out of it. So you go with that one. This is neat. Look at that. Now, that's Japan, but that is really early Japan, when the hair was long to the floor. That's not Chinese, that's Japanese. But that's not the Japanese that most people know, unless you know the history. Because there was a period where the women had their hair all the way straight down to the floor. The longer it was, the sexier that was considered. Jade Class, another Jade Classics, Hoffman, California. Feels like a rayon. Only 1.5 yards. Okay, so it goes this way. So you'd have to be careful how you laid the pattern out, but oh wow, where is it? Is this on this side? No, but it's on this side where I can show it to you. So there's a boat in here. Check out the dragon head. Look at that dragon head. Isn't that cool? Wow. Mike sees this. He's going to love it. That is cool. So there's like 1.5 yards of that one. That is cool, because usually you see a lot of the Japanese fabrics, when you see it, it has what we're used to with the modern look, with the hair being up. And those kimonos, which are more streamlined, they go more straight down. And the kimonos for that period, I think it might be the Meiji. The kimonos were like the Victorian ball gowns. They were tons of fabric that spread out from the bottom and just were crazy. Yeah, they would look fabulous framed. That would look very full framed. So at least now, though, I know which side, where that stuff came from, having found that one slip. So that was a fun find. Like I said, I had to go through a box sometimes to know which estate it came from. And it should have tipped me off for London, but I knew Nancy Banis had been in Europe and had been in London for a while. But I didn't think that June had been in London. I knew they lived for quite a few years in Venice, Italy. They lived in Scotland. They lived in Iran when the Shah was still in power. So I knew they were there, and I knew my cousin got sent home to Rose Valley. So Leslie got sent home to Rose Valley, different Leslie, when the parents had a chance to go spend, I think, 3 months in China. So they weren't about to take the daughter in there, so they sent her home to her grandparents in Rose Valley. So, but I didn't know they were ever in England for very long, unless she just would go shopping. You know, if you're in Scotland, just take the A1. You could drive all the way down and get to London. So, well, that was fun. Whole new cool stuff to deal with. Good night, Jody. So, so hopefully when I come back, I will be able to hopefully not hurt myself while I'm at camp. Better not. We are going, and our lead scoutmaster is a medical doctor, but I really don't want to have done any damage to myself. But hopefully I will get the Black Hole Challenge room back to where I'm working on that room, get that ready as a studio, because then I could get a desk that came from June's place in Rose Valley, and it was made from a grand piano. So the front legs look pretty cool, but it was made for Leslie's grandfather on the father's side. So it looks really cool, but it's out at my sister's right now. So I want that back here because it's nice and big, and I can use that as a desk. I can use it to sort things. I can use it to film from. You won't have so much clutter here. It'll give me a place where I have room to sort things out, and I'll have shelving. So we can have things out where I can find them, see them, put them in categories. I try. I'm to the point where I can see where Jan from Antiques from Karen is going, because she's talking about how, they're going to, now they have a property, then as soon as they get it to where they can move stuff out of the other house, out of Karen's house, our mother's, then they'll move a lot of that stuff. And I'm like thinking to myself going, girl, that's what I had to do. That's why it's all so many boxes. And she wants to know what everything is and have everything organized. And I just hate to tell her that, when you move, forget organized. You're going to have so many boxes of little stuff. But she's trying. She is trying hard to get as much done as she can so that it's out of there and she doesn't and doesn't have to move everything. So let's see, what's the chat got going? So yeah, tonight's probably going to be a short one. We could chit chat for another 15 minutes and go, because I want to pack. I want to get that fabric back in the box and the lid on it so that little Miss doesn't think she can like climb in there and sleep. If there's a box, a cat will sleep in it. So, but I know tomorrow is going to be a long day because we got to get all my laundry done. And I want to get all my stuff packed tomorrow. Mike has shopping he wants to do and get it done tomorrow and drag me along with him. So it should be fun with my scouts. And I'm going to have about, because she's 4 hours away from camp, I'll probably only have about 4 hours to be at Jan's. So hopefully I can film some when I'm up there. I'm going to see if she'll go live on her channel while we're up there. I think that would be fun. But I'm going to help sort out books for her when I get up there, and I'm only going to have a few hours to do it. And because that was the last thing I'd been working on. I've spent 4 years doing nothing but selling books. And then in 2020, I changed everything up. I had to start a new eBay store because they don't have a policy if you get hurt or sick and you can't get to your computer and people buy stuff and then you just don't respond, they will kick you off. And they have no policy for medical emergency taking you out. And they shut me down. So I had to start all over again with my eBay. And so I made sure, though, when I jumped into YouTube a year before I planned, because 2020, and I decided if I was going to do this, everything was going to have the same name to make it easy to find me. So I changed the name of the eBay store, I changed the name on the Etsy store, and the name on the YouTube channel. So they're all the same thing. So it just makes it easier. But I do need, I've had a couple people start asking me, because I'm getting near that 1,000 mark, is do I have merchandise? And I honestly don't know what I could use for the merchandise, because that picture is not going to reproduce quite so well for some stuff. eBay has its issues, but it's still the biggest market out there. eBay is the biggest flea market in the world, and you don't get sunburned. You always know where the bathrooms are, and your feet don't hurt. So it has its problems, but so does every other platform. And not everything, like you can do a lot on eBay that you can't. Like Etsy finally let vintage on. It used to be nothing but handcrafted. So then they've now let some vintage on. But if you have stuff that's not necessarily vintage, but you want to resell, you can't do it on Etsy. So, and Amazon, I don't want to deal with Amazon. Amazon, you have to mail everything into them, and then they handle everything and send you the money. But I just don't see how, like, if you want to, you don't have the stuff actually physically in your hands. So if you have an opportunity to clear it out, you can't, because you already sent it off to Amazon. So I'd rather not have to deal with that. And it sounds like Poshmark and Mercari are mostly clothes. So we're kind of stuck with eBay, I think. So, so how many are still here? We still have 42 people watching. Wow. How many of you fell asleep watching? I don't think I'm that boring, but still. So we figure, though, Tuesday will be Jan, and it's a lot of driving, and my son is going to drive. He's doing it. He said he'll do it as a favor to me. So that was nice of him, because that is a lot of driving in one day. 4 hours up, stay there for 4 hours, 4 hours drive back to camp. And we can't do it any later in the week, because we found out that camp's going to be a day short. from COVID protocols, they kick everybody out on Friday instead of Saturday so that they can then spray sterilizer and cleaners on all the campsites and all the cots. And so, hi, Tina. Tina, your box is going out tomorrow. It's sitting right next to me. I have to make sure I print out which reminds me, that's the cord the cat knocked down. I have to print out your mailing label. There we go. Tonight, so that your Santa that you bought will go out. So it wasn't a sale tonight, Tina. That's okay. It was an unboxing. We went through 2 boxes that I took from the other end of the living room, and we were doing an unboxing because with me leaving for camp for a week, I still have stuff still to pack. My notes are so convoluted now that I need to transpose what still needs to get shipped onto another sheet of paper. So when I come back, there will probably be a sale. So I won't be live next week because I'll be on the side of a mountain. So Thursday, the 12th, August 12th, would probably be the next sale. So there'll probably be 2 sales then. And at some point during the day, there will be a sale pop up. And I don't know if it's going to be on my channel or on on Jan's, because we're trying to hook up to do a jewelry sale that's not necessarily the high-end vintage, but like the more modern from like the 80s and 90s, because I've got a big bag of that and she's got some. So yeah, I can do that, Cher. I can take your shoe if Jan's okay with that. I'll ask her. If she's okay with that, that's no problem. I can take the shoe up with me. I was going to email you and ask you if you wanted me to hold on to the shoe for a couple of sales, for like 2 more sales when I got back, to see if you bought anything else. But I could take it up to Jan if she's all right with that and put it in there. That'll be no problem. Oh, the boys have, okay. So the teenage boys have, one of them dubbed it story time with Miss Krause, where they get to pick my brain about anything. And that's led to some really fun discussions. And it's also led to some where I went, I'm an adult and I can't go there. No. There's certain things. No. So yeah, they love the fact that I grew up knowing so many of the elders in my family, because to a lot of them, that's just so completely out of their realm of experience. I'm dumbfounded at how many of them don't see even their grandparents that often, let alone have no clue who their great aunt and uncles are. And to me, it's like, how do you not know who they are? Now, Mike knows one of his great aunts, my mom's sister, because she still lives nearby. But as he was getting older, Aunt Michiko and Uncle Bert moved to Texas to be near their son, Michael. So I don't think he's ever met Aunt Michiko and Uncle Bert. Certainly not as a teenager. He might have been, I think we got him together when he was little, but I'm not 100% sure of that. So he hasn't really gotten any, and I haven't had like big family dinners where they were around either, which is something that happened when I was growing up. So he's kind of missed out on that too. So. All right. Good night, Jenny. So. What is it? Spruced and what? Oh, is that for on Instagram? Yeah, I have Instagram. I don't do I gotta learn more what to do with it. I also have to get better at having, and part of it's just the sheer lack of space to do anything. Like my shipping right now is a card table in the Black Hole Challenge room, in what's going to be the office, because getting to the third floor is still a bit of a challenge. Like if I tried to get up to the third floor today, I think my right knee would give out on me because some stuff you can't. Some exercises for the left side you can't do without the right side because you're moving them both together. And so everything gets tired out. And sometimes because I'm relying so much on the right leg right now, it just tires it out. And if the knee goes out, I'm going to drop. And I don't want to do that. That would not be good. So what are your plans for the weekend? Anybody? Mine's going to be packing, getting stuff ready, planning stuff out. I'm going to go to bed after this so I can get up early, and tomorrow I'm going to do the label for Tina's box. So that's by the door. My brother will take that to the post office and he'll be there first thing when they open. He's been great about helping with that. And that'll go off first thing. And window cleaning and sorting stuff. Yeah, sorting stuff is an everyday thing here. I can't even have space to organize so much because it's like one of those sliding puzzles where, okay, you got to move this here to move this here, and then move it this way to move this one this way. And so this whole house is like a sliding puzzle, which has been the big challenge. But at least now there's room to slide. For a long time, there was no room to slide. Michael didn't even have room to have a desk in his own bedroom. This was his desk, and my desk was at the other end of the living room. And we would shout back and forth when he was doing his homework. But it was the only places we got enough. I had enough stuff sold that we could slide. You know, I used to do it all on the kitchen table. And this was the only way there was enough room to finally, there was room at each end to slide a desk in. And that got it started more. And then we got, the playroom got emptied. That's why there's stuff at my sister's, because the playroom got emptied because the ceiling collapsed. There was a pipe leak we didn't know about until it dropped all the rock board. Nope. No, he doesn't really have any interest in any of it. None of my family does, which is why I got it. None of them are really interested in it. My brother-in-law, my only brother-in-law, is always saying, "Oh, you should just throw it all out. Just throw it all out." But this has helped pay the taxes on the property for a couple of years. Now, yeah, there were a couple of years where I didn't make enough, and I was out of a job, and they helped me, and I'm truly blessed for the help that Phyllis and Bob and Steve and Sue have helped. There have been times they've paid for heating oil, but you know, when you're in retail, most places you don't have a pension, and the older you get, the harder it is to find a retail job. You hit 50, nobody wants to friggin' hire you. So I'm thankful that I have all this stock. You know, so I've had help here and there. I was blessed by you guys because, and Trisha, who was it? Was it Trisha? That started the ball rolling of I was so blessed when I had no heat by the reselling community, because I had no way to get a heater. And one of the big problems is that for social programs to help, because my brother has a pension, they count, and he's a sibling, they refuse to count him as my renter, even though we have we have an actual legal written agreement, renting agreement. And they won't count it because he's a sibling. So they insist that I have to count his Social Security disability and his pension as part of the household income. I only ever see his rent. I don't see any of anything else. And it puts us just over for getting any help. And I luckily got, Trisha started a funding thing to help me get a heater. And by the time it was done, I had hit the $2,000 mark. Heaters are a lot more than that. But bless your hearts, it paid for all the plumbing work that the heater grant did not cover. Because there was plumbing in 1911 plumbing that had to be replaced that fed water to the heater and to the radiators. Because they will only cover, the grant only literally covered a new heater and the installation of the heater. Repairing any pipes that led to it or led from it was not covered. And there were quite a few that they had to do. And yeah, Tina, it's not fair that they count him like that. It's not. Mike, they won't count because technically Mike is a nephew because his parents, my brother Roy and his wife, never let me actually adopt him. So it still was a legal placement. So they don't count Mike, but they make me count my brother, even though I have a rental agreement with him. I don't have a written one with Mike, but I have one with him. So yeah, it's crazy. And I actually had someone at the welfare department tell me that I should force him to hand over his Social Security disability check and use that to pay the household bills and then give him whatever's left. If you force anybody to hand over a government check, that's a felony. That will get you a good amount of time in an orange jumpsuit. And I don't look good in orange. I'm not doing that. So, Soapy gotcha. Hello. So normally this is a reselling channel, but right now it's just a chat because I'm going to be gone for a week. So we didn't have a live sale tonight. So, but yeah, the rules sometimes are not right. If you're already down on your luck, they will kick you further down sometimes. We've found that out very quickly. And it's a challenge, but I finally see that I inherited all this stuff for a reason. And doing it all that because there's so much small stuff, because so much of it is that little stuff. It has taken a long time, you know, to list it all on eBay or put stuff on Etsy. I've tried doing yard sales, but because I'm into the city limits of Chester, I'm right on the edge. People act like everywhere is full of crack addicts and violent crime, and like any city our size along that 95 corridor up the Delaware River, there are crime problems, but not everywhere. Even in Philadelphia, you have neighborhoods where everything's fine, and Chester's the same way. You have neighborhood parts of the city that are fine. But I've had a job application taken out of my hands because I lived in Chester. I had a scout troop. The guy didn't even have enough nerve to tell me himself. He had one of his assistant scoutmasters tell me, we don't want people from your area in our troop, and told me to leave when I was looking for a Boy Scout troop for Michael. I had a company for glasses where my mother and I had gone for years, go to get glasses for Mike and for me, and suddenly the new manager refused to take our check, wouldn't tell us why they wouldn't take mom's check. And then told us, if you don't leave right now, we're calling the police. And of course, my mom got all upset over that and saying, no, 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 we don't want any trouble. We don't want any trouble. And I'm like, I want to know what the problem is. We're here for glasses. We're here for 2 different pair, one for the kid, and I think the other pair was for mom. And the woman's telling us, you need to get out now. You're causing a disruption. I'm like, no, I'm just asking a question. Why won't we've come here for years? It's on our, surely you have our name in the system because you knew who we were when we got here. You said it was in there. And now you're telling us we have to leave and we can't have the glasses? What the hell? So I finally said, well, what about by credit card? Is credit card good enough for you? And she said, yes. So I put it on my credit card and I paid for their glasses. And then I took her name. And then once they were paid for and we had the glasses in hand and she couldn't take them away, I asked for her boss's name and she refused to give it. Well, you know, by then the internet existed. So I found their home office on the internet. They sent me a full refund for what we paid for those glasses because I reported her for being, and they call it economic racism. When you look down your nose at somebody and make assumptions based on where they live. That was one of the worst ones. You know, we've been going there and we never went back. And I know we've gotten glasses from, you know, we've gone to Casey Optical, which might be a little bit more money, but for the customer service I get, it's a lot better. It's a lot worth it. Michael gets his glasses there. I get them there. Gary gets them there. Mom had gotten them there. But we gave up on this national chain. Never went back. So, yeah, people have to judge, you know. Unfortunately, people have to judge. Usually it comes out of needing to feel like you're better than somebody because you're not comfortable with who you are. I mean, it's been my experience that seems to be what the biggest trigger is. The people who are not comfortable with themselves always seem to be the ones that have to belittle other people in some way. And I just look at them and go, well, you need to straighten yourself out first, and I'm not going to worry about you. You say what you're going to say, we'll agree to disagree, and then I'll just keep on going. So it's just like when you see comments on YouTube's a perfect example. Somebody will post something, a video of something, and the comment section explodes sometimes with nothing but negative. Nothing. I on my personal YouTube, I had made a comment because I saw everybody ripping this one athlete that was a runner, a marathon runner in Japan, and they were complaining about, you know, well, I don't understand because, you know, these Kenyans are used to hot weather. I don't see why it's such a big deal that he was so far ahead of them, and all these other athletes, they're just wimps because they're dropping out. And you're like, you know, you don't get it. Your body trains at a certain weather condition, and then you go somewhere else and the weather condition is very different. It has different physical effects on your body. Tokyo Olympics are having a hard time. They've had athletes faint. Why? Because Tokyo has 73% humidity. So when it's 90 degrees there and you have humidity that high, the very air is so dense that it's even hard to breathe for some people. So, you know, and I made that comment and explained it that, you know, you can, it's all about air pressure. Barometer pressure is the air pressure, the weather conditions. Kenya, yeah, these guys are used to running from Kenya because it's hot there, but it's hot and it's dry. And now you get the oppression of 73% humidity. Of course, they're not going to be at optimum performance because their bodies are experiencing something that they are absolutely foreign to. So the what would you call it? The company that owns the channel, but whoever runs that channel actually thanked me in the comments. It went, thank you, somebody that understands the science behind athletics. So it's everybody else on that video was ripping apart the athletes as whiny babies, and they don't understand. They just don't know. And 68 degrees with 96% humidity. God, that kind of humidity, I have to wonder if my knees and hands would start to hurt, because I have arthritis in my hands and in my knees. So, and we dodged. We were supposed to get a bad thunderstorm late in the afternoon, and it bypassed here. I heard distant cracks of thunder, 2 or 3 of them, and then it rained for about 10 minutes, and that was it. That was all my area got. But Allentown, PA got they got thunderstorms, they got lightning, they got a tornado warning, they got all of it. So, all right. So I will see you guys. It's a little after 1. I'm going to go. My throat's also starting to go. But I want to get the label on Tina's box, and then I'm going to hit the hay because I've got so much to do tomorrow. I've got a whole list. Because I want to try to pack more stuff and have it ready to go out, get invoices out so that anything that gets paid can go out Saturday morning. Because we are leaving early Sunday morning. If I can go live at camp, I might briefly, just a random, it'd have to be during the day, if they've upgraded their Wi-Fi to be able to. We'll see when we get there, because I have not been to this summer camp since Mike was a scout, and at the time he was probably, Max Shaw was senior patrol leader. So Mike at that point would have been 16, 15 or 16, and he's 26 now. So it's been 9 or 10 years since I've been to this camp for summer camp. So hopefully they've increased the Wi-Fi capabilities up there. Sure hope so. But a lot of them turn off the Wi-Fi at like 10 o'clock at night. So, all right. See you guys in 2 weeks. And there'll be a live sale then. And I am hoping to have some live sales with some guests, because Sheriff Fines, I know, we'll have to work out a schedule of when she can come on a live sale, and we'll see what happens. So I bring some people to the Night Owls, and of course there's all the stuff here. So see you guys in 2 weeks for a live sale. Have a good August for the beginning of it. Don't let the heat get to you too much. I am going to try to go live at camp, but we'll see what happens. Bye. End. Come on. End.